Okay, guys, this quest is going to be all about analyzing media, and I'm going to tell you a secret. You've already done some of that. In the last quest about the skin cancer video, we actually looked at a couple of advertisements together, and then the video is technically media as well. That was actually a real commercial that aired on Canadian TV to convince people to go get their skin checked. So, what we did is something that you probably do all the time without even knowing it, but we're going to be looking at media in the context of an article this time. So we're going to look at an image that an author has included to go along with a reading to enhance the meaning of the reading. So get ready because we're going to have some fun. Okay, if you haven't already, go ahead and print your handout. It looks just like this. It's called Graphic and Questions because it's the graphic from the article that we read about pre-K, and it has some questions that we're going to kind of go over together. So here we go. Okay, so let's look at this together. This is the graphic from the article about pre-kindergarten, and I didn't talk about it when we were reading the article because I knew we were going to do a whole different video just on the graphic. So I didn't even ask about it in your quiz or anything. But it's sometimes kids skip the graphics when they're looking at text. They kind of don't think it's that important, but I want to make a point. Like if they're taking the time to design it and get the colors and print it in color and do all this stuff, it's actually more important. It's like they take the most important information and make it more easy to read because it's so important. So anytime you're reading something and there's a table or a chart or a graph, it's in there because it's really important to what we're doing or reading. So I really want to make sure, especially when you're taking your STAR test, if they show you a picture with a caption or if there's a graph or something or a map that's included, it's really important that you pay close attention to it. There will probably be questions about it, and if there aren't, it will probably help you answer some of the questions that are just about the text. So let's go over and look at it together really quickly. So it says, pre-kindergarten makes a world of difference. 37 states sponsor pre-kindergarten because it works. And then here on the left, children who attend high-quality pre-kindergarten in Shelby County, about 4,700 children are currently served by pre-K, Head Start, or both. 5,000 additional children likely would be reached by voluntary state-supported pre-K. $30 million additional cost. And based upon research findings of state-funded pre-kindergarten, the long-term returns to Shelby County could exceed $225 million. And then it gives the statistics. As young children, kids who go to pre-kindergarten reach school ready to learn, and they are less likely to be held back for a grade and less likely to be referred to special education. They're more likely to read at grade level by 4th grade. As teenagers, they are more likely to graduate from high school on time, and as teenagers are less likely to become involved in risky teen behaviors. They're more likely to attend college as adults and also are less likely to become involved in criminal behavior. They're more likely to be in good health. They're more likely to find and hold living wage jobs and are less likely to rely on food stamps or welfare assistance. And then at the bottom, it says these research findings are based on state-funded pre-kindergarten programs and high-quality early childhood programs, such as High Scope Perry Preschool, Chicago Child Parent, and Abras ABC Darien Project. Okay. So that's the content of what is on here. And then on your chart or on your handout, we have questions. So the main purpose of this graphic is and remember, it's part of the article to convince people to send that universal pre-K is a good idea. So this graphic is to support that claim that universal pre-K is a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to actually type that, and you can write it on your handout. The graphic is included to support the claim that universal pre-K is a good idea. Okay, so let's look at what this graphic does to establish trust. And remember, we need to know that whoever the author of this graphic is an expert, or they're using expert information. So one of the things that they do to help establish trust is down here in the tiny print. It references some specific schools that were very well done, and it tells where their research findings are from. And so that's a really good thing that they do to establish trust, because if they give you where they got the information from, you can go and check it. And so you know that they're trying to be open and honest with you, and that helps establish trust. So I'm going to put the author cites where she got the information from. And that helps establish trust. So how does the graphic provide evidence? Let's look. Well, in two different ways, right? In one way, we have all the list of statistics, going along this age chart, and then we also have a list of facts and statistics about a particular county. So it gives us the facts and statistics both ways. Excuse me, sorry guys. All right, so let's go ahead and put that in there. The graphic lists facts and statistics for Shelby County and about kids who attend pre-K in general. And I'm going to be more specific. It lists health benefits for kids who go to pre-K. It lists it lists kind of economic benefits, right? Because it said they would earn more money, they're less likely to need welfare assistance, they'd be able to kind of pay for things with the money they earned. And then it also lists social kinds of benefits, like staying out of jail. And that was all for kids. For kids, it lists all those benefits. And then in the orange section on the left, it gives the cost of universal pre-K just for that county, for Shelby County. And it gives the economic benefits, right? Because even though it's going to cost $30 million, they'll actually get $225 million back in gains. It also lists this. It gives the fact that they could help 5,000 more kids. It shows how many children would benefit from the program. So there's a lot of evidence just on this chart. And remember, there was a lot of evidence in the article too, but it took so much more time to read the article. I mean, really, this graph makes it all super easy to read, and we can see what each thing is. There's a little drawing and symbol for each thing, so it makes it even more easy to read. It's pretty cool. The graph, the way they set this visual up is it makes it a lot easier. And let's look at how it appeals to emotions. Because honestly, the fact that the article was about children makes it an emotional factor, but the author didn't spend a lot of time trying to make you cry or, telling sad stories about kids who don't get to go and their individual feelings and that kind of thing. It was mostly just a list of benefits and more evidence kinds of things in the article. But in the graphic, we get a little more emotion. And so one of the things is that it says 37 states sponsor pre-kindergarten, so they're appealing to the emotion of wanting to be like your peers. So if everybody's doing it, maybe you want to do it, and that's one way to appeal to emotion. So it's not like your sense of like romance or anything, it's like a peer pressure kind of thing, but that's still emotion. It also shows the little blocks and all the cute little graphics. Those all are reminders, they kind of look like children's drawings, and so they kind of are associated with cute little kids, and that's an appeal to emotions as well. And then we also have this little picture of this cute little kid. It could be a boy or girl, I guess, depending on if the girl had short hair, but so it could be any kid, there's no race associated with a kid, so the reader can really look and say, maybe that's just like my kid, no matter what your color is or your situation, this little kid that's just an outline, that could be your kid, and that's a good way to appeal to emotions as well. So let's kind of take a second and document that. The childlike drawings, the peer pressure, like the 37 states. And I'm just kind of taking notes here. I'm not fully typing out paragraphs. You can see that. I'm just letting you know. It's okay to just jot down notes right now. The peer pressure and the fact that the outline of the child could be any child, right? Could be my child. Okay. So that's a good way to appeal to emotions. And then let's look at, how does the graphic increase the overall persuasiveness of the article? Well, we kind of talked about that already. It distills important information and makes it easier to read, which in turn makes the article more persuasive. Because if somebody's like, this article is kind of boring, I don't really feel like reading it, but they do look at the graphic, they're still going to be convinced that universal pre-K is a good idea. It also gives the emotion piece that was kind of missing from the article, and it also gives the credibility piece, because the author kept referring to, studies say and research shows, but she never in the text of the article said, it was this study and this research, and so that it adds the credibility and the emotion piece that was missing. So I'm going to put, the graphic is easy to read. It gives specific references to establish trust, and it appeals to emotion. And I'm going to put in parentheses, the article didn't do a very good job with that. I'm not that good at typing. Okay, don't tell your teacher. She's going to make fun of me. Okay, appeal to emotion. Okay, so that's basically it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a different graphic or in Schoology. And for your quiz, what I'm going to want you to do is answer these same questions, but it'll be about a different graphic. And that is going to be your task. Have fun.